What up YouTube, it's Starry Gamer, and today I will be doing a kind of Let's Play vlog thing. Sorry that the scenery kind of keeps changing behind me. I kept getting interrupted in my previous takes of this video, so I just resorted to going to my parents' bedroom. So that's where I'm currently sitting, and sorry, it just got really dark. Alright, that's better. Yeah, this is a closet though. Anyway, so as many of you guys know about what happened with my mom, so that's why I haven't been very active lately. But I meant to actually upload a video last week, but that obviously didn't happen. So I decided to come back in the swing of things with a scary story. Also, I put up a poll and was like, hey, what do you guys want me to do? So many people said a scary story. So here it is. So the person in this story gave me permission to disclose their name, making this very clear now. Okay, so this is a little bit of background. This person and I, we had been texting a whole bunch, we had been talking, we were like, okay, we need to hang out. So finally the day came, and her mom came over, picked me up. I went over to her place. She lives in an extremely rich neighborhood. Keep this in mind. I don't know how this will really entirely be important, but I know it does play a role. So, she lives in this very rich house. Very rich neighborhood, very rich people just in general. And so Emily and I, we were hanging out in her room, we were talking about scary stories. And this was pretty early on, this was about 3:30ish. And she's like, hey, because we were now in her bedroom because she has two adjoining kind of rooms. It's very hard to describe unless you've been there. But it's basically, there's what we call the game room, and then there's her bedroom, like that makes a corner with it. And so she's like, hey, so I've got these plushies, I swear they're haunted. I'm like, okay. So she takes me through, and her bedroom is attached to the attic through a little closet, like a walk-through closet. It's only about 5 or 6 feet. It's not very big, like this way. So it's not big at all. She shows me some of her like homecoming stuff. She's like, yeah, I wore this for homecoming, you know, da-da-da-da-da. She takes me through, and we leave both doors behind us open. And we walk through, and we walk to the very back, which was about 20-ish feet from the entrance. Like, it's kind of far. And so she's digging through these bins, and she's like, okay, and she's telling me about them. She says there's this one that's a bear, and there's one that's a bunny rabbit. They're both pretty creepy. The bunny rabbit's more creepy because it's so innocent, like innocent looking, but it feels so demonic. And then this other one, she finally finds it while she's digging through. We're just chit-chatting, and then the door behind me slams shut. We both freeze. We're both like, okay. So she finally finds it, picks it up, and shows me. Oh, it gives me chills just thinking about it, and that was just one of my sisters. So what this was it was a a darkish purple teddy bear with bright red button eyes, and then like a mouth. If I don't know if it's entirely correct, because this I saw it back in December, and I haven't seen it since because I've refused to see it since. She's like, hey, you want me to send a picture? I'm like, no, keep that away from me. But just creepy, completely overall. So we're like, okay, that was a little unnerving. And just before this, we had been downstairs because she had been like giving me like a grand tour of the house basically. And we were downstairs because, reminder, rich house, and they have like a theater room, they have like a pool table, so we were hanging out down there. And they have like a little bathroom that connects like a garage section basically to the theater room, and it has 2 doors. I'm like, okay, you know, I need to go to the bathroom. So I close one door, I close the other, and I flick on the light. So, you know, doing this, whatever, wash my hands, and I flick off the light and I walk across to open the other door. Right when I do, the door behind me pops open. I'm like, okay, so I like kind of run out, and then Emily jumps down and scares me, so I like bolt past her. And she's like, hey, what's wrong? So I told her what just happened. She looks and goes, that's not supposed to happen. Her and I both practically run upstairs. And then, so then the whole thing with her attic happens. So we're now hiding out in her game room, which is like the only place we feel safe. We're like, okay, in here nothing can get us. So we continue, for some reason, telling scary stories. And she tells me how, and it's getting to be about 1, 2 a.m. and downstairs we hear like stuff slamming, like not attics, like cupboards. And we're both kind of sitting there, and we're like, she goes, my mom's not awake and my brother's not home. And her dad wasn't up either. And we're just kind of sitting there, and we're like, what do we do? So we just sit there and we just wait it out, basically. And then we had to go downstairs and like get a drink or something. We went downstairs, and one of the cabinets is slightly ajar. No, the pill cabinet was completely open. She looks at me and says, no one goes into that cabinet. And so I'm like, okay, this is pretty freaky. So we get our stuff, we go back upstairs. And then a couple hours later, I was like, hey, I need to go to the bathroom. So I completely refused to go in her room alone. So we went in together, like we went into her bedroom, and the way her bathroom's set up is that there's like a little hallway thing that has like the sinks, and then the bathroom's kind of like the bathroom itself is branched off of that. So she's hanging out with like the sinks and stuff. I have the bathroom door closed, I'm in there. And, so I go out to go wash my hands, and I come out and she's laying on the floor making a cross position. And so I'm like, Emily, get up, this isn't funny. She doesn't do anything. So I'm like, I can't kick her with my foot. I'm like, Emily, get up, this isn't funny. She starts laughing. And then so a couple hours later, I'm like, okay, I finally get my courage up, go back into her bathroom, go again. And the cabinet that she was showing me before isn't closing properly. Whenever I like push it shut, it just slowly, it's not creepily or anything, it just kind of pops back open a little bit. So I'm like, okay, maybe it's just like faulty or whatever. So I go back in and tell her about it. She looks at me and goes, that's not supposed to do that either. And I'm like, oh dear God. So her and I are like completely terrified. We're sitting there talking, so it's getting to be like super late. And we hear like knocking / scratching on the walls in her bedroom. And her and I are both like, that's her dog's downstairs. Like, that's not her dog. We're both just sitting there silently. Her and I start getting like really freaked out, and her and I are like, this isn't funny anymore. So as many of you guys know, I'm a Christian. So I started praying. I started pulling up Bible verses / passages, pulling up worship songs, writing crosses, like everything I can think of. So I'm sitting there and we're holding hands while I'm praying. I drew crosses on both of our hands. And I'm sitting there and she looks up at me and she goes, Bree? And I go, what? She says, where you drew the cross is hot in my hand. Like, it hurts. And I reach forward and I touch, because I drew them like right here on us. Her hand was burning up. And her and I just kind of look at each other like, what? So I pull up a song called Tremble on my phone. And for any of you guys who have possibly heard the song before, it goes, Jesus, Jesus, you make the darkness tremble, Jesus, Jesus, you silence fear. So it goes like that. That's like part of the chorus. So I pull it up and I just keep playing it on repeat, and wherever it stops, I just restart it, like just right after. No, and I'm just doing that. And the next morning, I have my phone across the room and I wake up. I usually wake up about 8 or 9, so I'm like, okay, no big deal. So I wake up, I look over, grab my phone, and I'm sitting, because she has a couch and like a little pull-out bed, so I'm sitting up on the couch, because that's where I had slept the night before, and I hear this scratching again on the wall, and I just have like this really bad feeling, so I look up, and I kind of start looking around, and I go, in the name of Jesus, you're not allowed here, and it just stops, and I'll start up again, and I'll say it again, and it stops, and it just does that till Emily finally wakes up, and she's like, what's going on? And I tell her. She's like, okay, that's creepy. So she turns on the light of the gaming room, because we were staying there. And it just entirely stops. And I'm like, okay, that was really weird. And so the rest of the time that I was there, like, nothing freaky happened. But just last night, I was talking to her and I was like, hey, is there any way that, like, we can figure out what's going on? All this stuff. And she tells me about how she's played a whole bunch of paranormal games. She's played Midnight Man, she's played Red Book, she's played so many. She's played Ouija boards by herself, which anybody who knows anything about a Ouija board knows that is very, very dangerous. Basically, the 3 rules of a Ouija board that at least I know of: never play alone, never play in a graveyard, and always say goodbye. She has played alone multiple times, and I'm like, honey, no. And, like, I know that this is a very good way for demons to come through and like try to basically attach themselves to you. And it's very terrifying. But at the end of the day, as I always say, names only have as much power as you give them. So many of you guys who are terrified of like Ouija board demons or anything like that, I always say a name has as much power as you give it. So let's say I'm doing a video on the Ouija board demon Zozo, or Zaza, or Mama, or whatever it goes by, because I don't really know, and I don't really care. Okay, my mom has like a bear mask that I keep seeing out of the corner of my eye, and it keeps like freaking me out, like, this is what I keep seeing, and I'm like, please go away. Stop. Okay, so anyway, and my friend, Emily, was like, okay, this is like really freaky, and because they actually played with the Ouija board last time I was over at my other friends who basically connected Emily and I. And her and basically everybody else except for me were playing with the Ouija board. I was like, I don't know, I just really feel uncomfortable like going near it. I'm not going to touch it. I'm not going to do anything with it. I will tell you guys if I have a really bad gut feeling, I will do everything I can, but I am not touching it. And they're like, okay, fine. While they're playing, they start going Z-O, 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 and so they end it. And like one of the girls started like freaking out because like they were saying the name Zozo. And I said names have as much power as you give them. The more you fear the name, the more you fear the entity, the more you fear the name, the more power it gets. Because most demonic entities use your fear against you. That's how they gain fuel. That's how they gain power. So that's why I'm perfectly fine with saying Zozo. I'm perfectly fine with saying Annabelle. Because I know the names only have as much power as I let them have. And since I'm not afraid of them, they don't have any power over me. One line that I really meditate on, like for anybody who thinks I'm like meditating, like sitting here meditating. Like, no, different kind of meditation, like focusing on it, is a line from The Labyrinth. It's a very, very old movie for any of you guys who don't know the movie. But the line goes, "My kingdom is as great, you have no power over me." And so whenever, like, one of my friends says, you know, but this name, like, even just saying the name of this, or, like, even just, like, seeing a picture of it, like, it can come attached to you, I'll always say, it has no power over me. And I'll say, why do you say that? And I'll say, because something only has as much power as I give it. That's why I'm perfectly fine with watching, like, horror flicks. Like, I've seen like a couple with my mom, and I'm perfectly fine with it. Why? Because it only has as much power as I give it. So that's kind of my spooky story and like my reasoning behind it on why I'm like not afraid of it. But my second, hopefully shorter spooky story that won't last this to 15 minutes. I apologize for this being super long, but this took place when I was like really young, and so I had this little gold angel statue that's about this high. Yeah, about this high. So for any of you guys who can't tell, that's about this big. And so I have this up on my dresser, and I love this thing. I got it at Bible study, and I'm like, okay, that's so good. I'm laying in bed. I'm like 8 or 9. I'm laying in bed, trying to fall asleep. I'm like looking over at this angel, and I see it start moving. Like the shadow of it start moving. So I like get really freaked out. I yell for my parents. They come upstairs. They're like, what's going on? And I tell them the shadow's moving. They're like, that's impossible. So then they go. Come back not too much longer later, and I'm crying out for them for the exact same reason. Finally, the third time, I just stay there, and I'm like, you know what, I'm not going to say anything. I'm sitting there, and I see it move again, and I just grab my teddy bear Ginger, who I still have to this day, who's basically like my security thing. If I get scared, I just grab her. And I grab her, and I roll over, and I somehow manage to fall asleep. I don't know how. Next morning, I wake up and look over. I left my angel facing this way. It's now facing me. Ever since then, that angel is still kind of close to my bed because I like the angel. It's very pretty. It's a gold painted angel. It's just a nice looking object, and like you would never suggest anything sinister out of it. But ever since then, I've had it facing the wall away from my bed. It has not moved since. That was the only time anything creepy has happened with this angel, besides it sometimes falling off my dresser and its head snapping off, because I don't know, just the only part of it that's fallen off has been the head. I guess it's probably because of the way it's built. Because it's built kind of like a cone. So the head's kind of on top of the cone. So it's like the weakest point, so it snaps off pretty frequently because I've dropped it, It's fallen off my dresser. My sisters have dropped it. Like, it's fallen a lot. So those are 2 scary stories. If you guys like this video, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. If you guys want to hear more of my scary stories, or if you guys just want to hear stories from my life, please be sure to throw that down in the comment section. And, oh crud, I've got to meet with Abraham Lincoln. I've got to go to. Got a blast.